So, RBN Network. RBN, that's a Revolutionary Blackout Network. They are going through some drama right now. CJ, or Compton J, supposedly was ousted, and now they're going back and forth. And he's saying stuff about them, they're saying stuff about him. But here's the reality that I don't think anyone's really talking about. RBN is currently exposing themselves, right? I've called them out, and many others have called them out in the past for just being unhinged, just being basically an extreme version of mainstream media, right? Where you pander to the ideology of your audience, right? You just keep, it's 98% of your content against one side, 2% against the other, right? To pretend to be balanced, but you're basically playing on the emotions of your audience, right? You pretend to be genuine and you're about the issues, but ultimately it's about views and money. But the unhinged part of RBN, right? People have called them out for being unserious and unhinged. And they're basically admitting that it's true. The only thing is that they're trying to frame it as if CJ, he's the problem, right? So think about this before. People would have made these comments about the group, and part of those comments would have been applied to CJ in particular, right? It applied to all of them, but also to him. And back then they would have said, you're just a liberal, you're a shit lib, you're on your MSNBC, blah, 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 right? That's what they would say. But here they are, they themselves are calling him, I don't know the exact wording, but they're basically saying he's unhinged, he's crazy, they're gonna be so much better without him. So they're describing one of their members in the same way that we've been describing them as a group previously. But just conveniently, they're trying to attribute those qualities to just one particular member, right? We're the good ones, he's the bad one, he's the problem, right? If he's the problem, then, and if he's so bad, then doesn't that implicate you? Because why would you be in this arrangement with someone who's so unhinged or whatever? It's kind of like someone in an abusive relationship for a period of time, and then they want to complain about the other person, and there's no self-reflection of like, but you're the one who chose them and you're the one who chose to stay with them, right? If CJ truly is what they're saying he is, then that implicates the entire RBN, right? They should have kicked him out a long time ago. Why didn't they kick him out so long ago? This is just like, I think Jimmy Dore as well. I mean, he has all this stuff to say about TYT now, but wasn't he with them for quite a while? If TYT is so bad, why did Jimmy Dore take so long to get rid of him, right? Same thing with Dave Rubin, right? That's why American media is so toxic, right? You have the mainstream media very dishonest, right? You have them, one side of mainstream media is caping for the GOP, the other side's caping for the DNC, right? And then you have the independent media doing more extreme versions of that, right? You have one side of independent media which is caping for the GOP to an even more extreme level than, say, Fox News. Then you have another side of independent media caping for the Democratic Party in a more extreme way than even MSNBC. And MSNBC is really bad, but the independent media does it even more extreme. And then you have this sort of, I would regard it almost as a kind of an offshoot of the right-wing media, where, the right-wing media business model is 98% attacking the Democrats and the left, right? 2% saying something sort of critical of their side, right? Then you have another group of people that are doing the same thing that right-wing media is doing. 98% of their content attacking the Democrats. 2% maybe, attacking, the Republican Party, right? The only difference is the people who are doing this are claiming that they're left-wingers, right? So you have anti-liberal right-wing media, and then you have anti-liberal left-wing media. And then both of them seem to align sort of, or to some degree, on a lot of different things, right? So right-wing media is like questioning vaccines or whatever. So since the liberals are all talking about vaccines, and you have this like supposed left-wing channel like, yeah, and what do we really know about these vaccines, right? So they just so happen to align on certain issues, but ultimately they're using the same exact business model. But the bottom line is RBN, very unserious. And this is not just me as an outsider saying it. I was actually in contact with a member from RBN, and when I was going through, and I still am to many degrees, my personal crisis that was regarding the realities of the housing market that no one wants to talk about, right? Liberal media, mainstream media is not talking about it. And then even these left-wing folks who talk about housing should be a right or whatever, right? They are perfectly happy to challenge bad faith arguments coming from the right, right? They're perfectly happy with challenging, good faith arguments coming from the left from people who are uninformed, right? They're perfectly happy to fill in the gaps. What you don't understand is blah, 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 and blah, 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 right? But from someone like me who has a good faith critique of their housing narrative, right? They don't want to engage at all, right? we were in contact previously, but then the minute I bring this up, all of a sudden, silence, right? No challenge to what I'm saying, no interest in what I'm saying. So a major story that is contributing to the housing crisis, no interest whatsoever to cover it from left-wing media. And by the way, the Vanguard, who I am a fan of, even though there is a big level of unseriousness with them as well, they did the same exact thing, right? Somehow, there's no interest in covering this from our unserious American media. Same thing from Actual Justice Warrior. Over 200 people on his fans commented to him to bring me on to talk about this. And you don't got to bring me on. Talk about the topic, right? I can tell you the details of stuff that's not being covered. You can look into it and you can cover it. But no one wanted to even touch it at all, right? They all have their narrative they want to push, right? Actual Justice Warrior pushing a right-wing narrative, right? RBN pushing a left-wing narrative, right? And me bringing some truth to the story that crushes some of the stuff that they're pushing out, not interested. Because unserious, RBN unserious, Vanguard unserious about some things. They do good content. I do like their show. But when I see this kind of stuff, it's like you're putting all this content out, but here's the real deal. Someone is homeless. Someone is living in their van. And this person is someone who aligns with a lot of your ideology, right? Left-leaning person. It shouldn't matter whether I'm left-leaning or right-leaning. And you are so serious about housing and concerned about this stuff that you don't even want to investigate. You don't want to talk about it. Just complete blacklist, right? Unserious Vanguard, unserious RBN. And this is just absolutely hilarious to watch this. And I'm sure some of the stuff that they're talking about is some of the complaints. They talked about CJ going after their allies. Allies like who? The scumbag Jackson Hinkle, the capitalistic obsessed, just ultra mega grifter Jackson Hinkle. Anything for views, anything for clout, anything to maximize his engagement. That guy, the guy who went to Russia dating some Russian possibly assets, right? Yeah. And then Jimmy Dore, the drunk, dishonest clown Jimmy Dore. That's your boy, right? Right. Unserious. RBN unserious, just like most of American media. And I just wish that we could come to an end of this fallacy of, mainstream media is so bad, but random people on the internet who are accountable to no one somehow are automatically better. Like these guys, so independent media, these guys are a bunch of philanthropists, right? They're not motivated by profits and really? You think that MSNBC would be dishonest and one-sided and pander to ideology to maximize their profits, but some random person on the internet who's making a fraction of what these people on mainstream media are making, who, because of that fact, if their channels collapse, it could be disastrous for them. Mainstream media. These guys are so wealthy, they don't got to worry about losing their jobs, right? So who is more motivated to be dishonest? Mainstream media or independent media, right? Independent media guys, if you can't put out a narrative that's going to bring in enough views, right? You could be looking at financial devastation because typically these guys are not going to have enough money to just be able to not work, right? Mainstream media guys, they can get fired and never have to work another day in their life because they got hundreds of millions of dollars. They're good, right? An independent media guy, not so much. And don't believe in this lie, right? And no one will tell you this because the people who, obviously mainstream media is not gonna out themselves, and then independent media people are not gonna want to out themselves either, right? They want to continue this illusion of like independent media is somehow magically better. It can be better, and there's lots of good things that you have in independent media, but most of independent media is far more dishonest and toxic than anything we have in mainstream media, right? For the same reasons that mainstream media is as bad as it is, greed, right? And then the other fallacy is, we have members, and that's how we're able to say the truth. How are you gonna get and maintain members if you don't? If you're ignoring the algorithm, like for example, me, I don't care about the algorithm. I'm not here for fame, right? And you see how small my channel is and it will always be, right? That is how these guys' channels would be as well if they just did whatever, right? But no, you have to do things that are going to get views, right? In order for the algorithm to promote your videos. Because I don't know if you realize this. If you could have 1 million subscribers, right? But if you don't do what the algorithm wants, then even though people have subscribed to you and they click a notification bell, they may not get notified because the algorithm ultimately supersedes everything else. No matter what you're doing, if the algorithm decides that you are not putting out the type of content that the algorithm wants, right? Even with the notification bell clicked, you might not get notified. So what that means is if RBN, right, or any of these independent media guys, TYT, all these right-wing Ben Shapiro, if they decide to just be honest and objective and not pander, right? And therefore end up doing stuff that algorithm doesn't like. All that Patreon, whatever, goes away because what happens? Think about what happens if I have 1 million subscribers, right? And a majority of them stop getting notified because the content I'm doing, the algorithm doesn't like. And then they look at their finances and they look at, oh wow, I'm still donating to Debate Me channel. I haven't watched them in 6 months. Let me cancel that. How are you going to keep people paying you money if they're not watching your content? And how are they going to watch your content if the content's not showing up in their feeds, right? Only the most extreme fans are going to like always come to your channel and see what you posted, right? But most people are going to be more passive. They're responding to what comes up in their feeds, right? And if you don't do what the algorithm wants to do, right, which is either you're an anti-liberal channel, oh, the left, or you're an anti-conservative channel, oh, the right-wingers, oh, Trump, right? Or you're doing this middle ground where, you know, I'm a left-winger, but I'm gonna spend all my time going after liberal, oh, liberals, this, Democrat, right? And don't have nothing to say about the right wing, right? These are the types of things that get you views and engagement, right? And if you're not doing one of these things, the algorithm is not gonna like your channel and your channel will die, which is why they all do it, right? No one else will say it, right? Because everyone has a vested interest in maintaining this illusion. I don't have a vested interest in maintaining any illusion, right? I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to be famous, right? If my videos only get 5 views, whatever. I don't need the money. I don't need the fame. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm very busy, right? That's to tell you how important this stuff is to me, that I have so much stuff to do. I'm so behind, right? I haven't even paid my mortgage this month yet, but I take the time to do these videos anyway at my sacrifice, right? Knowing that this is never going to be a big channel, right? I know how to run YouTube channels. I know what gets views, and what I'm putting out is never going to be very popular, right? Because YouTube cares about views, it cares about engagement, it cares about keeping people on the platform, and being honest and objective, that's not it, right? What people want to hear is that they're smart and the other people are dumb, right? They're part of the good crew. They're part of the crew that are in the know and we know the truth, and those other people are idiots, right? That's what people want to hear. People don't want to hear that their ideas suck. People don't want to hear that they're wrong. People don't want to hear that they've been scammed, right? By these YouTubers, by the politicians, by the elites, by these influencers. They don't want to hear that they've been scammed, right? Everybody wants to believe I'm too smart to fall for this, whatever. No, Jimmy Dore, he's actually a truth. No. You're the one. You've been watching MSNBC, whatever. There's no way that I could be tricked by these con artists online. You'll have to be wrong. There's no way that I'm wrong, right? Trying to pull somebody out of a cult. Go to MAGA, try to convince MAGA that, you know, they've been scammed. No way. They don't want to hear that. You're the one that's been scammed. You need to do your own research. Wow. Well, RBN, let's see what comes next for you guys. But you guys have been unserious before, and I'm sure you will continue to be unserious, right? You put on a big show online and this and whatever the rhetoric, but behind the scenes in reality, when it comes down to what's what, unserious, right? And obviously the response is they will point out some stuff that they've done, like, you know, they've done community work or whatever. Listen, man, just like Jimmy Dore attends like one what was it, the Force to Vote thing as a PR move, and oh yeah, he's real serious, right? When it came to Build Back Better, where was Jimmy Dore? Where was RBN? Where was the left in general? This is supposedly a big bill that has so many things that they really care about, and we had a few dozen people protesting, right? On serious. This is the Debate Me channel. Debate Me comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.